Welcome to the Soulfire Podcast, where every day we talk about real life, real shit, real raw. On this show, you can expect us to dive deep into topics like marriage, parenting, money, business, feeling like you want to give up, fighting for yourself, just straight soul healing. This podcast is all about life. Hey there, it's Power Coach Alishia here, your source of fun, funny, exciting, entertaining, and educational life coaching, transformational speaking, and soul healing. We're talking about setting your soul on fire. I specialize in helping women put themselves first without feeling guilty, getting out of their own way, and finding themselves again. No fluff, no hand-holding, no bullshit here, just love, light, and peace as we journey through this thing called life. You never know someone's soul is dying until you stop and pay attention. So the following is a story of something that happened to me a couple of months ago. It was the most unbelievable experience I have ever had with souls connecting and helping someone who was in so much pain and had so much, I guess, detest or so much, it's not like anger towards themselves, but just, I don't know. They literally like detested themselves. If it wasn't perfect, perfection, highest level, the best, they were the worst, the biggest pieces of shit and not good enough. As I tell you this story, I want you to hear if this connects with you and how you may be feeling or have felt in the past. I want you to think about a man in your life who could be the man I'm talking about, the one who feels this way and nobody around him knows. Or maybe a strong woman like me who feels this way, but nobody knows. Maybe that person is you. I have done my best to edit out this story to the best of my ability, so it's not easily able to connect with who they are if someone knows them and of the situation and listening to the podcast. If you do know who the person is, just give them love and light. Please don't say anything about this to them. Just be there, be a friend, be love, and be support, so that they know that they're not alone. But I don't want them to know that they're not alone because you said, oh, I listened to Alicia's podcast and I figured it was you and da-da-da-da-da. Just know in your heart that you're giving them more love than you were before. So without further ado, here's the dying soul. I have a friend who, until this one moment that our souls connected, I had no idea the pain he was going through. I do need to do a push pin here and then I'll restart this again. Two things. This person is a Pisces, and a Pisces man with my Taurus energy. We connect at a level that I don't connect with any other human being on earth. Something about a Pisces male energy and soul and my Taurus more masculine energy and soul. It's like an unbelievable connection that is unexplainable. And it's not like, we are a perfect love match, but in this example, it's not about a love match. It's about a connection that's unexplainable. I have that connection with my Pisces sun. So it's not about that. It's just about how the souls intertwine. It's so hard for me to explain. The other thing, and the reason why I started laughing when I paused, is because I have been avoiding recording many new podcasts because of this story. I keep putting it off and procrastinating. So I'm very grateful that I finally got my shit together and I'm going to share the story with you. So again, without further ado, I give you the dying soul. I have a friend who, until this one moment, that our souls connected, I had no idea the pain he was going through. Before I tell you this story, I want to share something with you. In all the years of coaching, I have never been brought to my proverbial knees from someone else's pain. I am strong as fuck. And I would venture to say I'm the strongest person that you know. And I know how to release what's not mine. I know how to release it. I have been life coaching since I was 10 years old. And as a young girl, I really struggled to release other people's pain and what they were going through. It used to overtake me from 10 years old until probably 25, 26 years old, of me learning how to not attach other people's pain and emotions and, stress and what they're going through to me. But this soul got me good, got me in a place that I have not ever felt in my life. With him, it overtook me. And it took me 3 days to release his pain and protect my soul from hurting as bad as his was hurting. I did a moon ritual. I really, during this moon ritual, released all of his pain, all of the pain that wasn't mine to hold. It was such an unbelievable experience that I can only hope to experience millions of more times in my life without attaching their pain to me. Now, the reason why it attached, or I think it attached to me, is that it was due in large part to the male energy and how tall and thick their emotional walls are, and how much of my own effort and power and energy that it took for me to break down those walls to get through to him. Plus the fact that my own energy vibrates at the same emotional level as a man's does. So it's a lot more at that same level. So it's easier for me to be taken over. So here's the story. I was hanging out with his partner. Her, Daniel, and I had gone to dinner, and he stayed back to hang out with our other friends. Now, I've known them for almost 2 years, but we just started getting closer and closer this last year, 2021. So we're still at that stage of really getting to know each other at a deeper level. So after dinner, Daniel, her, and I, we went to the liquor store and we got all this fun booze to taste test. We were not in the local place where we lived. We were basically on a vacation. Okay. So we were having some fun. There was a whole bunch of us. So he went off with this group. She went off with us. It was just great. Well, after that, we went to taste test all the alcohol because we're like, oh my gosh, like this will be so fun. And so we just had like little bits in all of these, shot glasses, tasting everything. And 3/4 of the way through us taste testing all this alcohol, he comes back from dinner with everyone else and showed up with us to hang out. So we were all like, it was now the 4 of us merging to hang out for the rest of the night. Except when he showed up, he came in extremely hot. Like he was frustrated. He was pissed off. He was extremely emotional, extremely upset. And in a split second, my soul connected to his, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. He needs my help. He's sad. He's lonely. He's stuck. He's lost. And then I hear, now is your time. That's what I hear in my head. So while she starts pumping drinks into him to catch him up, and the conversation is still pretty much not necessarily lighthearted. It's heavy in how frustrated he is with a situation that's going on, which the situation has nothing to do with any of us really, but it's for the most part lighthearted. And he continues to share his deeper emotions regarding this situation. It's time for you to get unstuck and put yourself first without feeling guilty. Listen, I've been there before, and I wish someone would have told me how to do it when I was attempting to do it all, giving everything of myself to other people and burning myself out. Luckily for you, you have me, and I've already been through all of that, so I can help you. For a limited time only, my free Get Unstuck Masterclass is open for enrollment, which was designed to help you go from chaos to calm in all areas of your life. This training will help you learn how to put yourself first without feeling guilty, eliminate overwhelm, and stop people pleasing. It's seriously a no-brainer if you want to get unstuck and start living the life you love. And like I said, it's free. To sign up, go to getunstuck.soulhealingzone.com. Again, that's getunstuck.soulhealingzone.com. And then all of a sudden, I start in as Power Coach Alishia, asking questions, going deeper and deeper and deeper. Within 20 minutes, I realized, holy fuck, his soul is dying and nobody knows. So I say that exact thing aloud. Your soul's dying and nobody knows. So he starts crying. So this is the moment where, tears are starting to flow. He says, yes, but I don't tell anyone. I'm the strong one. I'm the one helping everyone else. If I fall apart, who's going to help me? I'm the one that's there for them. And no one knows how to help me either. They just end up breaking because they see me breaking. Also, I don't want to push anyone away by them knowing what's really going on with me and feeling like they have to deal with it. Does this sound familiar to you? So at this point, he's now crying almost uncontrollably. And I want you to know that there's so much more to this conversation, right? So as he's talking, I'm coaching, and he's talking and I'm coaching, and he's talking and I'm coaching. So we're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And meanwhile, Daniel and his partner are just kind of watching this all unfold. Every little while, Daniel interjects. Every little while, she interjects. But for the most part, they're just watching what's going on. So now he's crying almost uncontrollably, and I ask the question that always hits people in the gut. I said, when did this start? How old were you? What was the situation that caused this? Now, this is the turning point for him because he's never associated that he was stuck because of the story he told. The story he told took place when he was 6 years old. And he felt like it was his job to protect his mom, and he was doing his best to do that. Well, he ended up putting water in the car gas tank instead of gas because he didn't know what actually went in the gas tank. His dad freaked the fuck out, lost his mind on him, was so angry, and it wasn't about abuse. It was just about his heart in the moment and how pissed off his dad was that he almost ruined the car. From that moment forward, he decided that he had to be perfect or he was a failure. There was no in between. Perfection or I failed. So as he's sharing the story, as we're talking about it, I continue to work him through so much of his deep pain and open his soul to growth. Okay? So we move forward and, there's a couple more days that we're still there and I'm still working with him. I'm helping him through more. In conversation, I gave him some very explicit instructions of what he must do the very next day, how he must operate in the environment, what he must be doing inside of his soul, and the shifting that it was going to take. And so he went forward to take that action. That next night I'm pretty sure it was a full moon ritual, sitting in this hotel room. I'm at this little rinky-dink table. Both boys are laying in their bed, on their phones, whatever. Daniel is laying in our bed in the hotel room on his phone, and I'm doing this full moon ritual. And I get almost all the way done, and I look down, and I have a black onyx heart crystal, and I have a rose quartz heart crystal. And then when I'm looking at the black onyx one, I hear a voice that says, pick it up. So I pick it up, and then it says, give it to him. And so I'm like, okay, I wanted this, so I'm like a little upset that now I have to give this heart away. And then a voice says, pick that up. And it was the rose quartz one. And I picked that one up and it says, give it to her. So for the first time in my life, I've never done this before. And I grab both of these crystals in my hands and I pray over these crystals for both of them to give them what they need. So I pray over the black one first, and then I pray over the rose quartz next. And then the next day, I give the crystals to each of them and tell them what they mean and to carry them in their pocket. And that I hope that it brings them for her that unconditional love and that personal connection. And for him, that protection and that almost like release of negative energy, but not attracting other people's negative energy to them or to him. And he gives me like the biggest hug and she gives me a big hug and they take their crystals. Since that moment in the hotel room of just, I guess it's his own personal soul come to Jesus meeting. I call it a soul cleanse. He's had some setbacks in his growth because that is what personal growth is. But he's fighting and it's different and it's more powerful. And he has that time that someone could connect with him and someone could understand in a way that he didn't really have to explain and give him that fire and that power and that energy that his soul needed to fight for himself just another day. And he has a long journey to come back from that 6-year-old little boy at that gas station. And has a long journey and all of the shit that he's gone through in his life that makes him operate the way that he does today in his different life situations, which is not good for the people who are around him. But I do know that everything happens for a reason. And in that moment, in that connection, in that, I don't know, strength and also almost like out of body experience, like a lot of times I feel like it wasn't me in that moment. I feel like I saved that little boy. And more importantly, I feel like I saved him from his soul continuing to die. And I shifted him to that 180 of, okay, now it's time to fight for yourself. And so what I did that night in that hotel room what ended up being a 2-hour coaching session that was not planned, that was inadvertent, that rose from something higher than me, more powerful than me, that came forward to help him that day. I'm reminded that that's the reason why I'm here. That's the reason why this podcast exists, is for those moments of when you feel like your soul is dying and you have nothing left to give, that you can come here and I can give you that fire and that power and that energy to fight for yourself one more day. Thank you so much for listening to the Soul Fire podcast. I truly appreciate you taking out your time to be here. I would love it if you would subscribe and share. And at the end of each episode, head over to community.soulhealingzone.com. Again, that's community.soulhealingzone.com. And share with me, what was your number one takeaway? What really connected with you? What got your fire lit? What was something that you absolutely loved about this episode? I cannot wait to continue creating more episodes with you, connecting with you, and helping you through this journey on this thing called life. I'll see you later.